Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. If you want to learn a routine and just some tips and pointers, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. We're going to be giving you some pointers here, and this should take you no more than 10 minutes a day to improve your aim drastically eventually. Now, you aren't going to instantly become a pro player like pro player aim. However, you're going to get one step closer today if you just follow along on this. I'm not going to be talking about sensitivity though at all on this video, and that's because I just made a video about sensitivity. That's a big part of your aim, but just find something that's comfortable, and of course, watch that video. I would probably say watch that one before this one if you have no idea what sense you should be running. However, if you have somewhat even a decent sensitivity, these should all help you out. We're going to go through a full routine here and just some pointers that you guys need to take into game. So I'm going to be showing you guys in-game things and also out-of-game things. So the in-game things mainly, I would say we don't really have much going for us when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege on aiming training. All we really have is training grounds. I wish they implemented something like a firing range or anything along that line. However, we do not. But for console players, that's what you're really stuck with. Even for PC players, it's good to get stuff in game. But we do have some external training things that we could do here on PC that, quite frankly, console just does not have. So I'm going to be giving you guys both. So don't worry, console, PC, whatever you are, you're going to be set. So for all players, you guys probably already know this. However, if you don't, I'm going to be telling you here today. There are 3 types of aim in Siege, and there's plenty more, but I want to do relevant aim types in Siege. So the 3 different aim types in Siege that I would really just say are actually very prominent here. First bullet accuracy, or first bullet aim. We have spray aim, and then we have flick aim. Those are my 3 main groups, and we need a drill for each and every one of those. Some of them can be blended together. The first and the third are easy to blend together. However, the second one, we need different drills for each of them. In total, it should take about 10 minutes. We just run through a few T-hunts, or we run through this aim trainer. Obviously, the more time you spend on this, if you spend 20, 30, 40 minutes, you're gonna get better faster. However, I know that you don't want to be aim training the whole day. I'm sure you actually want to play the game too. So let's start off with the first one, just standard first bullet accuracy aim training. So we're going to start with the first and the third, which is first bullet accuracy and flicking. These ones can be brought together because most of the time, I want to say most of the time, but some of the time you're going to have to be flicking and getting your first shot off. It's kind of goes hand in hand, while spraying's completely different. Now I know for console people, you guys probably don't have aim labs yet. I don't think it's out yet, but I prefer to use aim labs. I know it's coming to console, so Xbox, PS, whatever. You can already use controller on PC if you want to plug it into your PC. However, aim labs is completely free on Steam, and that's my preferred way to practicing all of these. I also do it in game after, but sometimes I don't do either of them. It's just what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling bad, then I'm going to go into the aim labs and try to work on my aim a little bit better. I enjoy having good aim, so I spend a little bit more time than some might. Some might just go in raw completely without training at all, and that's cool too. Whatever works for you. You guys are gonna have to test these out yourself, but we got to work on flicking and first bullet. So aim labs has so many different ones that you can go off of. Obviously Kovacs has more, but this is still a beta version of an aim trainer, and it's my favorite by far. I have Kovacs, I bought Kovacs, but I like the free aim labs a lot more anyways. Not saying Kovacs is bad, I just prefer aim labs. The simplicity of it's pretty sweet, but I like these 2 drills whenever I'm talking about flicking and first bullet. So those 2 drills are spider shot and motion shot. So spider shot, this is going to be more of a drill for little flicks, not really flicks even. I would say compare this to when you're aiming down a door and someone runs by it and you have to correct a little bit. That's kind of what I relate it to, and that's what we kind of do on the T-hunts. But that's what I would relate that one to. As for the motion shot, that's going to be the more whopping flicks. You're going to have to hit one and then flick on over to the other side. That one's the harder of the 2 in my opinion. I just switched senses, so I'm still learning my new sense, and it's kind of like a mental reset. So I know how you guys feel, especially if this is the first time you ever touch mouse and keyboard, or if the first time you even touch a controller for that sake. It's very hard to get used to the dialogue sticks or how far you need to move your arm to go this far, etc. But for the people that don't want to mess around with aim labs, you can hop into training grounds. That's really our only option here, except if you want to actually play. But we want training grounds because there's more repetition, and that's actually in game. So even if you do the aim labs, I'm going to recommend this, that you should do this as well. So on training grounds, when you're working on your first bullet accuracy, I like to turn training grounds on. No matter what you do, you could do disarm bomb, you could do whatever you want, you could just do the elimination, whichever one it is. I would highly recommend you turn your gun on single shot mode. So you could do this by clicking B, or I think it's one of the D-pad things on console. Regardless, just turn that on one shot and try to hit as many shots as you can with the first bullet. If you don't hit the first bullet, you're going to get shot back at, and it kind of just trains your mind to always hit that first bullet, and you're going to get punished if you don't hit that first bullet. So that's how I kind of look at it. So a big thing with this is you're not only just going to want to use Ash. I know a lot of people go into terrace hunt and they're like Ash, 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 right? But for this and the next drill, we're gonna run in different operators. You could run Ash sometimes, but you're not gonna always play Ash in game, or maybe you will, I don't know. But play with your ACOG, play with your hollow, play with whatever you're gonna use. Also, I would play with your pistols. That's really gonna help you improve your first bullet accuracies because you only have one bullet in the first place. But the goal of this drill, right, is we want to run through it pretty quickly. We don't want to be taking too long, and we want to be able to aim in and hit the heads immediately. You're going to want to play however your play style is. If you hold the ADS more in game, then actually do that in the terrace hunt as well. On the other hand, if you're a faster place player and you're running around having to ADS and shoot in, you're going to want to do that. But I would mix both of them in, and this is really going to help with your crosshair placement, which is obviously one of the most important things when we're talking about aim. The crosshair placement means wherever that center dot is now, since we have that new center dot in Rainbow Six Siege. We used to not have that, but that little center dot, you're going to want to be getting in a habit of always having that at head height. So you'll get really used to that with terrace hunt. Honestly, I'd much rather do it in T-hunt rather than going into game and getting slapped a bunch of times because my crosshair placement's pretty bad. Just by having good crossbow placement and being able to aim, you're going to improve your skill drastically. You could honestly be gold without knowing anything about maps, in my opinion. But now moving on to our other main category, and this is one that you're going to use a lot as well, and that's why I break these down differently, because I do things differently with this, is spray. So your spray accuracy is going to be trained a little bit differently, obviously, because it's spray. We're not going to want our gun in single shot mode when we're doing our terrace hunt, but we're also going to want to run a different thing in aim labs. So for me, I like to run strafe tracker. This is basically just dragging your aim across the screen and trying to stay on the target, very similar to whenever you are spraying. Now, the one thing you don't have with the aim labs, and this is why I like to do this one in game mostly, is you don't have that same recoil, right? You don't have the in-game recoil. Now, obviously, guns in Rainbow Six Siege don't have the worst recoil ever. However, they do have recoil, so this isn't completely accurate, but this does help with your tracing, which is something you need to do whenever you are holding down and spraying. As for in-game, guys, I like to go on disarm bomb for this one. That's very strict for me, is disarm bomb, because I like having the enemies hoard me. So whenever I get to the objective and actually plant it or defuse it, I start the defusing process, and once it gets going, it starts really speeding up. The thing I like about this, by the end of the game, I've killed 50 people. So that means I've killed basically double, 2.5 almost, of what I normally would do if it was just an elimination. So the way you're going to want to run through this is first just clear out the floor and then get to an objective. Whenever you get to objective, start the defusal. And once you're at the defusal, you're going to be wanting to run with a IQ or Mario or something. I like to use the G8 because it has that 50 bullets and a decent recoil pattern. It's not too much to control. It's very easy to control. It's just not as easy as like Ash. Ash is the easiest by far. Some other guys like Sledge, those are super easy as well. I like to have to control something that isn't too easy and also has a lot of bullets so I could switch between targets, because spraying really just means that you're not hitting your first few bullets. You are actually spraying around corners and so on and so forth. So that's what you're going to want to focus on. You're not going to try to one tap everyone. Obviously, that's ideal to do that, but it's not the end of the world. Plus, there's so many enemies that you one tap one, then you're going to have to drag over. So my goal here is just really don't let go of the shoot button too much. I want to stay shooting at most times, I'd say, and that right there should improve your spray a lot. So instead of just only focusing about first bullet, be more reasonable with yourself. Even the pros spray a lot because it's really just the name of the game in Siege. You're not always just going to one tap headshot. If you can, then you probably have walls or hacks, but spraying is a part of it. You're going to want to spray through walls. You're going to want to spray through tables. You're going to want to wait for someone to crouch peek you or whatever, and you're going to hold down that spray button. So just get used to the spray, and I would do that in terrace hunt, and this is one that you're going to need to do in game. However, I would still start off with aim labs every single day if you're on PC. If you're not, it's not the end of the world. You can just go on training grounds and do the 2 drills that we showed you here. Play them in multiple ways, so you get A, you get that first bullet accuracy, and B, you get to be able to practice on your spray a tad bit. So this in total should take you no more than 10 minutes in my opinion. In my experience, I could play aim labs for a few goes. You know, sometimes I'm going to play aim labs just for 10 minutes because I find it enjoyable just to warm up my hands and whatnot. However, if I'm speed running through and only have 10 minutes, I could just hop on aim labs, do each one time, go into training grounds, hit both of those one time, and between all that, we're talking about 9 to 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes a day, you can improve your aim drastically. It's way better than doing nothing. The more time you put into it though, the better you're going to get, just like anything. So if you're willing to run through aim labs for 15 minutes and run through training grounds for one go of each one, which is 6 minutes, that's 20 minutes of warm up, then you are way better off than anyone that you're going to be playing. So congratulations if you do that. Congratulations if you actually take action on this, because your aim will get better. I've been grinding with my new sense and my aim has improved a ton. So if I help you out, leave a like. Thank you very much. And if you guys want to check out 2 more videos from me, they will be linked down here. I selected these both out for you, so go ahead and check those out. Thank you very much. Peace out.